Okay, class. Hello and good day. So in this video, I will be discussing here working with motion and sound blocks in Scratch. Okay. So last week we've discussed already the looks black. Okay. And last week or last meeting, we've focused on the looks black, like how to change the color of our sprite and how to change the size of our sprite, and also if we want to put a graphic effect on our sprite. And we are already finished discussing the looks black. Okay, and I believe that all of you guys are already familiar with looks black already in Scratch programming. Okay, so in today's lesson class, I will be discussing working with motion and sound blocks in Scratch. So meaning in this video, I will be focusing on the motion and the sound blocks. Okay, and first one is the motion. So here in motion, I will be discussing one by one all the codes that you can use and all the codes that you can see inside the motion blocks, and how are you going to use every codes inside the motion blocks. And I believe, guys, that some of you are already familiar, or I mean all of you are already familiar with some of the codes that is inside the motion blocks, because on our previous lessons we've already used some of the codes that we can see inside this motion block. So for example, the move 10 steps, so you're already familiar with that. Also the point in direction 90, like if you want to point the direction of the sprite facing to the right, to the left, upwards or downwards. And also the go to X and Y and the glide X and Y. So I think most of you are already familiar with some of the codes inside the motion blocks. Okay, so that's why this is the first block that I will discuss. And after discussing the motion blocks, we are going to proceed on the sound blocks. Okay, like from the name itself, sound blocks. So here are the codes that you can use to create sounds or manipulate sounds in Scratch programming. Okay, so let us start now, class, our discussion about these topics. Okay, so let me just present this. Okay, like this, and now let's go and start our discussion working with motion and sound blocks in Scratch basic programming. Okay, so let's start. So the first one that I will discuss is motion blocks. Okay, so what can you see in motion blocks? So the first one is, what is motion blocks? Okay, so motion blocks is one of the 10 categories of Scratch blocks. So there are 10 categories in Scratch, and motion blocks is one of them. And next is, they are color coded medium blue. So the color of all the codes inside the motion blocks are the colors of medium blue, and they are used to control a sprite's movement. So this is basically the main function of the codes inside this motion block. So they are used to control a sprite's movement. Okay, and they are available only for sprites. So all the codes inside these motion blocks, they're only available in sprites. Okay, for all the sprites. Next, there are currently 18 motion blocks in motion blocks. Okay, we have 15 stack blocks. So there are 15 codes, which is called stack blocks, and we have 3 reporter blocks. So I will show it to you guys one by one what are these 15 stack blocks and what are these 3 reporter blocks. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so this is what the motion looks like when you open your Scratch. Okay, so here are the categories of Scratch, and here are the codes inside the motion. So this is color blue. Okay, so let's proceed now on the next slide. So here we will be discussing one by one all the codes that you can use inside the motion blocks. Okay, so the first one is move 10 steps. From the name itself, it will move forward 10 steps. Okay, so it's up to you how much value do you want to put inside this block. Okay, so the move steps block is a motion block and a stack block, and this is the function of this block. The block moves its sprite forward the specified amount of steps in the direction it is facing. So wherever your sprite is facing, so that is how it will going to move forward. Okay, for example, if your sprite is facing to the left, then it will move forward to the left. And if your sprite is facing upwards, going up, then it will move 10 steps upwards. Okay, so one step is equal to 1 pixel. Okay, so that is the move steps, and I think you are already familiar with this. So the default value is 10. So as you can see, the default value is 10 and can be replaced by any number. You can change it by clicking here and then changing it by typing any number that you want for your move steps. And next will be this turn 15 degrees. Okay, you can see this is clockwise, turn 15 degrees clockwise, and this second one is turn 15 degrees counter-clockwise. Okay, so this block turn their sprite the specified amount of degrees. So you can also change the amount or the value inside these degrees. Okay, it will turn either clockwise or counter-clockwise. So if you want to turn it clockwise, then choose this first code, and if you want to turn it counterclockwise, then use this second code. Okay, this changes the direction that the sprite is facing. So if it's facing to the right and then you use this turn 15 degrees, so it will not be facing to the right. Okay, it will change like 15 degrees. Okay, and that is how you use the turn 15 degrees. Next is go to. Okay, go to random position. And so what is the purpose of this code? So this block sets its sprite X and Y position to that of the mouse pointer, an arbitrary coordinate, or another sprite. In other words, it moves the sprite to a random position, and the mouse pointer, or another sprite. So later on, guys, I will show you an example for this. Okay, so let's proceed now to the next code. Okay, so I think this code you are already familiar with this, like go to X and Y. So here you have to provide the X and Y coordinates, and then if you use this code, your sprite will go to the specified coordinates here. Okay, so this block or this code sets its sprite's X and Y position to the specified amount. So that is what I'm telling you. This block is related to the set X. Okay, set X2 and the set X are set X2 and the set Y2 blocks, but the only difference is this go to X and Y is it's the same as the two blocks combined, because here in motion blocks we have also set X to something and set Y to something. Okay, Then this go to X and Y is like the combination of these two. Okay. So here, another code inside the motion block is glide. So glide blank seconds to X and Y. So what does this code do? So this block moves its sprite steadily to the specified X and Y. So it works the same as this go to X and Y, but the difference between these two is, as you can see, the word itself, it will glide for how many seconds? Okay? If you put here 2 seconds or 5 seconds, then it will glide for 5 seconds until it goes to the specified position or specified coordinates of X and Y. Okay? So this is like pointing the sprite in a direction and repeatedly using move steps but with more precisions. Okay? So that is the glide and the go to. So let's proceed now. So the next is glide for how many seconds to blank. So this blank, you can change it. Okay, there are specific values here. So what does this code do? So this black moves its sprite at a steady pace to the specified sprite or the mouse pointer from a drop down. Okay, so this is similar to the sprite in a direction and repeatedly using move steps but with more precision. So after this slide, I will show you an example for this. Okay, so the next is point in direction. So you are already familiar with this. Like this black points its sprite in the specified direction. So if you want to face your sprite to the right, to the left, upwards or downwards. Okay. So for now, guys, let's show an example for all the codes that we have been discussing for now. Okay, so let's go to the Scratch website, scratch.mit.edu. Okay, and then enter. And this is the official website of Scratch, and this is what we are going to use in our Scratch lessons. So I want to show you all the examples that I've been discussing. So I will create here, and then I will create a new project, and as you can see, this is what the Scratch wheel looks like. So you can change the name here, like example. Okay, so in here on our Google slide presentation, we've discussed the go to random position. Okay, because all these other codes you are already familiar. So let's discuss, and I will show you here the example of go to random position. So this one, so if I click this, so as you can see, the cat is going or appearing in a random position. For just the word itself, it will go to random position. So you can change it like go to mouse pointer. So if you click this, it will go to wherever our mouse is. Okay, so for example, let's put it here, and our mouse is here, right? So as you can see, the cat is going to our mouse pointer, right? So this is how you use this go to. So we have two options: random position for random position, and mouse pointer if you want your sprite to follow your mouse. Okay, so this is go to mouse pointer. Next is, let's use this glide. Okay, so basically it's like the same as this one, but this is glide. So if it's glide, it will glide to random position. Okay, so as you can see, once I'm running this code, by clicking it, it's running. and it's gliding to random position. And you can also change it to mouse pointer here. So let's put our mouse pointer here. Okay, so as you can see, let's move it here and let's put our mouse here. So the cat will glide to wherever the mouse is. Okay, so they work the same, but the difference is this one will glide. Okay, so that's it, guys. So now let's continue our discussion here. So we're finished with glide and point in direction. So the next codes that you can use in motion black is this one, point towards. So the point towards black is a motion black and a stack black that points its sprite towards the mouse pointer or the costume center of another sprite. So let's show an example for this one, guys. So in this example, point towards, right? So let's go and use the point towards mouse pointer. So let's say this is where we're going to put the mouse pointer. So as you can see, it's changing its position or the direction to wherever our mouse is. Okay, like put it down here. Okay, or here. Okay, so basically that is how you will, or that is how you will use this point towards. And if you have another sprite, okay, like let's say let's add here another sprite. So for example, I will use here an animal like maybe a crab. Okay, so here we have the crab and we have the cat. So you can change the value here, like you can see it has a option crab now. So if we use this crab, then our cat is going to face to wherever the crab is. Okay, like this. Okay, so I think you get it already. So that is how you use the point towards black. So now let's proceed our discussion. Okay, so wait a minute, let's so like this. And okay, let me just exit this first. Okay, so let's try and do it again. So here the point towards black, and next is the change X by. Okay, so this black is used to move its sprite costume center X position by the specified amount. So the X-axis ranges from negative 240 to positive 240. So that is the value that you can put inside the X. Okay, and here so you can see it here. Okay, change X by 10. So this one, so you can change the value here like by 50. Okay, so if you change it here, you can see it's moving, and the X here is negative 100, and if we change it like 10, so it will be plus 10, so it will become negative 90, negative 80. Okay, and so on until you click and until you run and you run your code. Okay, so next is, so that is the point towards and the change X. Okay, next is set X. So we can also set the value of X coordinate. So this black changes the selected sprite X position to a specified value. So whatever value that we put here, so the X will change. Okay, and we also have change Y. Okay, it works the same as the change X earlier. And we also have here the set Y. Okay, so this is what I am telling you earlier, that the go to X and Y is the same as these two. Okay, set Y and set X, so they are the same. Set X and set y, they are the same with go to x and y. Okay, so this black set its sprites y. So the y is up and down position to the specified amount. Okay, so as you can see, this black combined with the set x black have the same effect as the go to x and y. So they are the same effect. Okay, next is if on edge bounds. So this code is used for like it checks to see if its sprite is touching the edge of the screen with the move steps block. Okay, and if it is touching the screen, okay, the edge of the screen, the sprite will point in a direction that mirrors the direction from which it was coming. So as I like told you, from the name itself, okay, if the sprite is on edge, it will bounce back. Okay, so later I will show you an example for this, but this code is used to bounce back your sprite, okay, if it's already on the edge of the screen. And next is set rotation style. So this set rotation style black changes the rotation style of the sprite in project. So regardless of the style, the variable direction will still change. Okay, so this is what I am telling you. So this set rotation style. So we have here different options. Okay, so let's say, okay, so if you want your rotation style to be left and right, or if you don't want to rotate your sprite, you can choose. And if you want to rotate it all around, like go up, left, right, down, okay, so this is the setting of rotation style in Scratch. Okay, so next class will be set rotation style. So next is this X position, Y position, and direction. So these are the three reporter blocks that I am telling you earlier at the beginning. Okay, so it only reports the value of X and the value of Y and the value of the direction. So let's discuss. So the black, or this black, the X position, it holds its sprite X value. Okay, so basically this code will hold the value of X coordinate, and this code will hold the sprite's Y position, and these blacks can be displayed as a stage monitor. Okay, and the direction will hold the value of the sprite's direction, and they can be also displayed on the stage monitor. Okay, so here we are already on sound blocks, but for now let me show you, okay, what are the uses of that X and Y position. So this is it, right? X position, Y position, and direction. And there are boxes here. If you check the boxes here, you will see that the X position is on the stage. So let's say let's move the position of the cat. So the position of X and Y is also changing, and this is the value for the direction. So it's the same as this one. So if we change it to 90, then the sprite direction here will also be 90. Okay, so it's like it is used just to monitor what is the position of X and Y and also the direction. Okay, so you just check it here if you want to see, but for now let's uncheck. Okay class, so that is for the motion blocks. Those are the codes that we can use in motion blocks. So for now, let's proceed to the sound blocks. Okay, so the sound blocks are the blocks that control the sound from the name itself. Okay, so sound blocks are one of the 10 categories of Scratch blocks. So it's another one of the 10 categories. And sound blocks, they are color coded by color pink or magenta. So their color is pink or magenta and are used to control the sound. Okay, the sound blocks are used to control the sound of our Scratch program. Okay, and there are currently 9 sound blocks. So there are 9 codes inside the sound blocks. So we have 8 stack blocks and 1 reporter block, and the total of that is 9. Okay, so let's discuss now one by one what are the codes that you can use inside these sound blocks. Okay, so here are the codes of the sound blocks. Okay, it's color pink or magenta, and let's discuss one by one what are the codes that you can use inside these sound blocks. So the first one is this start sound. Okay, and the example of the sound here is pop. Okay, and what does this code do? So the black will play the specified sound without holding up its script. Okay, so meaning this black, okay, this start sound is used to play, okay, to play the specified sound. So you can choose here the sound that you want to play. Okay, and it is play without holding up its script. Okay, so if you click this, like if you use this code, the sound here will just play on the background. Okay, unlike the play sound until done. So this is until done. So this is the next next code. So this is it, play sound until done. So from the name itself, if you like if you play this sound or if you use this code, the sound that you will put here should play, okay, should make a sound until done or until it is finished before it go to the next codes. Okay, so this black will play the specified sound and it will pause its script until the sound has finished playing. So once the sound here is playing, it will not proceed to the next codes until the sound here is finished playing. Okay, so unlike the start sound black, which will play the sound without pausing its script. Okay, so that is the difference between these two codes. Okay, so now let's proceed and discuss this stop all sounds. So from the name itself, class, from the name itself, you will understand it already that this black will stop any sounds currently being played on all sprites and the stage. So all the sounds, okay, it doesn't matter if the sound is on the sprite or if the sound is on the stage. So if you use this code, all the sounds will stop. Okay, that's the purpose of this code. So pressing the stop button will also stop all sounds, but that method is rarely used as it also stops all the other scripts running in the project. So in our Scratch, we have stop button, right? So if we press that stop, all the sounds will also stop. But it will include there all the script. Okay, but if we use this stop all sounds, only the sounds will stop. Okay, and let's go next. So change blank effect by blank. So this black will stop any sounds currently being played on all sprites and the stage. Okay, so all the sounds on sprite and also all the sounds on stage will change. Okay, will be changed. Okay, if we use this code. Okay, so let's try an example for that. Okay, so let's go now to sound blocks. So these are the sound blocks here, and change effect by 10. No, before this, let me just show you an example for this. Like, okay, start and stop. Okay. So as you can see, we only have one sound, the meow. Okay. So if I play this, you can see it will produce a sound of meow, sound of a cat. Okay. And this is okay. So if you want to play another sound, what you have to do is, you can see it here, we have three tabs like the code, costumes, and sounds. Okay, so in costumes, this is where we're going to see all the costumes of our sprite. But here, since we are discussing about sounds, so if you want to use other sounds, so just click this sounds tab, and as you can see here, you can choose a sound. Okay, you can choose a sound by clicking this search, and there are a lot of sounds here that you can use. And also you can record something, like if you use this, you can record using this function. Okay, you can record your own voice. Okay, so let's try another sound. Okay, and if you want to like try what is the sound of this example, just put your mouse on top of this button and you can hear it. Okay, like bite, birthday. Okay, so as you can see, if you want to use the sound of this happy birthday song, then you can just like click it. Okay, and you can see it's already here. We have the meow sounds and the birthday sound. And if we go back to our code, we can now choose the birthday. Okay, and here in play sound until done, so it will play the sound until done before it goes to the next codes. Okay, so let's try and change pitch. Okay, so you can change the pitch or the pan from left and right. Okay, and the effect, you can change the value like 5. So let's try and do this. So as you can see, it's like this, right? But if I play this code also, as you can see, the pitch is changing. Okay, so that is how you will change the pitch effect by any value that you will put here. Okay, and let's try another one. Like if the code is running, you can click this stop all sounds to stop all the sounds that is playing in the scratch. Okay, so let's say let's give another one example. Okay, let's give another one example. But before I give you an example, class, let's finish first the codes that you can use here on sound blocks. Okay, so set effect, we're finished here. The clear sound effects, so these clear sound effects will clear any sound effects currently in place. So earlier I show you an example like change the effect, right, of the pitch, like change pitch by 5. So if we use this clear sound effect, so all those effects that we change in the pitch, okay, will be clear, will be deleted. So this just means that if we use this code, it will go back to the original effect of the sound. Okay, it works the same as the clear effects on the looks block. It will delete all the effects. It will turn back to normal. Okay, so next code is change volume by -10. Okay, so -10, this means that the volume will be the volume will decrease, and if we put positive number here like 10, it will increase. Okay, so this block changes the volume of a sprite by the specified amount. And next is set volume. So you can change you can set the volume to 100%, 50%. So it's up to you how loud do you want your sound to be. And this is the last one, the volume. So this volume black, it holds the value of the volume. So it works the same as the X and Y position and the direction. Okay. So let's try and do this example. So you can see here volume, right? So if we check this volume, so the sprite volume, so the volume of number 1 here will be 100. You can see it displayed. And if we like change volume by -10, so you can see the volume is decreasing by 10 if we run this code. Okay. And if we set the volume to 100, it will go back to 100. And if we set it to 80, it will go back to 80 and -10 to decrease. And you can change it like +10. So +10 to increase the sound. And the maximum value of the volume is 100. Okay. So those are the so guys, those are the codes that you can use in motion blocks and sound blocks. Okay. So now I will show you an example. Okay. I will show you an examples of codes in Scratch that is using the motion and the sound blocks. So of course, most of these codes are from motion and sound blocks. Okay. So let's try this example class. So let's follow that example and let's see what will happen if we follow that example. So here we're going to use the events like when green flag is clicked, and we will use here the forever looping for our looping and point in direction. So let's go to motion and use this point what's this, point towards. Okay, point towards the mouse pointer. Okay, and then we have to use move 10 steps. Okay, so when green flag is clicked, all the codes will activate, and since it's inside the forever looping, then it will be inside the loop and point towards the mouse pointer. So this means that this cut will always point to wherever we put our mouse, and it will always move 10 steps because it's inside forever. And lastly is, let's use on looks. Let's use the next costume to change costume. So we have 2 costumes here, right? So it will just change its costume using these 2 costumes. Okay, and the next is, let's go to control and let's wait for 0.2 seconds. Okay, so if we try this code, like run this, I will run this. So as you can see, the mouse is facing to wherever we put our mouse pointer, and as you can see, it's like this. And if I put my mouse here, the cat will follow it. Okay, because we put here move 10 steps and it's inside forever. So you can like do it like this, make the cat follow your mouse. Okay, so let's stop it for now. And the next step the next codes for our example is, let's go to events and let's use this when space key. So this one is when green flag is clicked, but here when space on our keyboard is pressed, then a sound will produce, like play sound. Okay, play sound, the meow. Okay, so let's try and do this. So as you can see, it's activated now. And if you want to make the cat make a sound of meow, so just press the space keyboard. Okay, so as you can see, it's praising or it's playing a sound. Okay, so that is the example. So as you can see, you can put them together, like creating a motion by following the mouse pointer and creating a sound while pressing the space. Okay, so let's try this and stop this. Okay, you can change, like you can use any events that you want. So here, when space is key is pressed, right? So for example, you want other key, like if you press letter M, okay, if you press letter M, it will create a sound like this. So if I press the letter M on my keyboard, okay, so as you can see, it will create a sound of meow until it's done. Okay, and next is you can also change this, like on the events you can use this when this sprite is clicked. So this sprite is the cat. So if I click this cat, it will create a sound. So as you can see, I'm clicking the cat. Okay, it will create a sound. So it's up to you what events you want to use. Okay, but these are, you can see here, the most common events that you can use in Scratch. Okay, so this is the first example. So we have here another example. Okay, and this example, the second example, let's try and do it in our crab. Okay, so we have the crab here, right? So let's create a program in our crab. So this is our code. When green flag is clicked, and go to -192. So go to X and Y, and let's change the X to -192 and the Y to positive number 2. This, and the next is point in direction. Okay, point in direction 135. Okay, so this crab will point in direction 135, and we use here the forever loop for looping. Let's use here forever, and then let's use here move 10 steps. Okay, and let's see that our crab has 2 costumes. Okay, so after move 10 steps, let's go to looks and use next costume. Okay, and then after that, let's use this on the motion, right? We have if on edge bounce, this one. So this just means that if our sprite is on the edge of the screen like this, it will just bounce. Okay, so as you can see, it's passing through the screen, right? But if we use this and put it here, and we click the green flag, okay, you can see that our crab is bouncing. It's just, if on edge, it will bounce, and the cat is following my mouse pointer. Okay, and after this, let's stop for a while, and you can use this, like when space key is pressed. So let's go to events and use this when key is pressed. Let's go to motion, and let's try this go to random position. So when the key is pressed, okay, the crab is moving or going to a random position. And after this, like we can also start a sound, like on the sound, let's start sound pop. Okay, so as you can see, it's like this. And if we run them together, like if I run this green flag, so the cat will follow my mouse pointer and the crab will bounce. And if I press the space keyboard, okay, so the position of the crab will go to a random position. Okay, so if you press space simultaneously, okay, so this is what will happen. Okay, class, so this is the second example of our lesson about motion and sound blocks. Okay, so that is all, class, for our lesson for today. for our discussion. I hope that you understand every codes inside the motion and inside the sound blocks, so that when you do your activity for today, you will understand it more. Okay? Okay, hello again class. So in this video, I will be discussing here, or I will show you and explain your activity for today about the motion and sound block. Okay? So here, just open your Google Docs in your Google Classroom, and the title of the activity for today is Activity 4.1 Motion and Sound Blocks. Okay, and here, when you open it, you will see this worksheet or this Google Docs. And here, you just have to put your name, your class, and your number here. And I put here instructions for your activity for today. Okay, so instruction number 1: create a scratch scene that will display the letters of your nicknames. Okay, so as you can see here, there is an example below, and my nickname or my name is Justine. So just like what you see here. And what are the things that you are going to do in every letters of your nickname? So the first one is, or the second is, when you click, okay, when you click the letters of your nickname, it should make a particular sound. Okay, like it's up to you what sound do you want to make when you click the letter or the letters of your nickname. Okay, it should make a particular sound. And number 3, when you type, okay, when you type in your keyboard the letters of your nickname, okay, when you type the letters of your nickname using the keyboard, it should make movements. Okay, it should make movements that we've discussed earlier or on the examples. So here, as you can see, this is the image of my example, and here is the link for the example project that I've created. Okay, so just click this link to see the Scratch project that I've created. Okay, so for example, this one, the name of that project is Move Nickname, Motion and Sounds. Okay, so if I run this, okay, and if I type, okay, if I type here the letters of my nickname, so let's say I will type letter J, so it will create a sound. Also for letter S, for letter T, for I, and for N. Okay, and if I type every letters on the keyboard like J, and if I type U, or if I click U, okay, it will move. And if I type S, it will move. If I type letter T on the keyboard, and if I type letter I, it will also move. And if I type letter N, it will also move. So that will be your activity for today, class. So you have to like create something like this, but the letters should be your nickname. Okay, the letters here should be your nickname. And let's try an example here, like what are the letters or the sprite of letters that you can use. So just click this choose a sprite, and you can see here, type your letters. Okay, and you can see the letters that you can use. Okay, so on that example earlier, this is the letters that I've used. So this is what your activity will looks like. Okay, and then after you finish doing the activity, so when you are finished, save and share. Okay, save and share your work. Okay, so you have to share your work, okay, in your Scratch account, and paste, okay, paste the URL. Paste the URL in the space provided. Okay, so that is, for example, this is the URL of my Scratch project, and you can see this, right? So you have to do the same as this one, and you have to paste your project here. Okay, so how to save and share. So let me show it to you. So you see here, there is this share button. Okay, like this is the share button. So just click this share button. Okay, so click this, and as you can see, congratulations on sharing your project. Other people can now try it out and give comments. So here is your example of Scratch project, and the link that you will share or that you will submit in the Google Docs is this link. Okay, so you have to copy this link and paste it here. Okay, paste it here like this. That means that I can open your Scratch project when you paste your link here. Okay, and just another reminder, guys, if you open your Scratch project like this and you cannot see a share button here, so make sure that you will verify the email address that you use when you create this Scratch program. Okay, verify the email address that you use in the Scratch account. Okay, so that will be your activity for today, class. So you can do now your activity and do it using your own Scratch account and using your computer.